When we think about how much domestic violence costs, we tend to think of the damage one faces for getting the medical care, the cost of services from the police, imprisonment, and legal services. In June 2014, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection reported that the government had established a domestic violence board and secretariat, and that a legislative instrument was being finalized for the Domestic Violence Act. The same source reported that a domestic violence fund had also been established to assist domestic violence victims with skills training and medical bills. However, in many hospitals, if victims of physical violence require emergency medical treatment, they are first required to make payments. The victims sometimes do not complete filing their formal complaints because they cannot afford to pay for the services of a doctor who will work on police medical forms. This hinders the pursuit for justice on the part of the victims. The Coalition for Survivors of Domestic Violence has stated that the practice of taking medical fees directly from survivors is illegal, unfair, and goes against the fundamental human right to be enjoyed to all citizens. The coalition is therefore calling on government to intervene in the abolishment of medical fees demanded from survivors of gender-based violence.
I must admit that there are numerous obstacles to justice. There are numerous obstacles to justice, but significant among them is this free medical care that our laws have already established, that we have laws that are already in favor of the free medical care, but the enforcement of the law is becoming a problem. So the statement that we issued, we have outlined the laws, we have a constitutional provision, we have statutory provisions, as well as some decided cases that are in support of the implementation of the free medical care. But it's not happening. So we are calling on the government to take immediate action to issue directives to the relevant institutions, especially the Ministry of Health, so that doctors will stop charging victims when they come to the hospitals for medical examination. These fees are hampering access to justice. Why? Because most of the victims or the survivors get discouraged. Some of them do not have the 200, the 300, the 500. So they go back home and the criminals walk the streets.